they're a good side and they've played some good footy this year, and we're pleased we were able to make it a contest. Now, I think everyone would have seen some opportunities that we had through the game, and particularly in the first half. There was 3 chances where they were nearly walking soda goals, and somehow we found a way to miss them. And Saints missed some shots too that they could have got. So in terms of the quality of the game, as a spectacle and the purities of our game, it wasn't there on both sides. But in terms of the contest, we'd just come off a 15-goal loss to a good side in Melbourne. So we were in that game of footy, and we troubled the St Kilda side with the way that we're trying to stop them from the way that they like to move the footy, and I thought we were really competitive, but at the end of the day we just lacked some of the polish that they had with the footy, and that's why they were able to kick the score that they did. Not that it was a big score, but it was big enough to be more than what we could manage.
You mentioned the contest there. Are there any other sort of positives you take out of it?
I think the fact that our last 3 weeks have been really disappointing, and we needed to we got some more games into some young kids. We had 4 or 5 playing today. Blakey Drury played his first game, which is a real credit to him. He's come off a rookie list, first pick in the rookie draft last year, and he gets his chance by round 8, which is pretty special effort. He's come in and had a big impact at our footy club in the way that he's gone about it. Sheasel continues to play some good footy. I thought Gus Logue, going in Coleman Jones's absence, he needed to go forward and play some second ruck stuff for us, and I thought he was really competitive, both in the ruck and as a target forward for us. Ben McCarrick played his best game for the year to date. So there's some encouraging signs. Young Bergman played well off half back, looked really reliable and safe for us in the back end. I just thought that our contest work and this sort of stuff was superior to what it was last week. We played a great side last week in Melbourne. In this era that they have, if they don't win more than one flag in this opportunity that Melbourne have got, then I'd reckon as a club they'd be disappointed, because they're a high quality unit, and we fell well short last week. But we came up against another good side this week, and we were able to be much more competitive, and that's what we're pleased about. We know we've got a long way to go, but you just look for little wins, and sometimes that's opportunities for young kids. It's players playing on specific opponents. Curtis Taylor played a bit on Sinclair throughout the course of the day today and tried to quell his influence because he's been so powerful as a rebounding half-backer. He's an all-Australian player, and I didn't think he was still okay for them, but he didn't have the type of influence he usually has on games. So those sorts of things. Big Goldie was pretty good for us in the ruck against Marshall. So we'll take those little wins out of the game. All it does is show us that we're getting closer to a win. We're not quite there yet, but hopefully we'll be there pretty soon.
Touched on Sheetal again. We saw some of the passes inside 50 were superb. We know what he can do off half back. How do you see his role evolving as the years go on?
Well, just to continue to build his game and build his understanding. Just him playing every week is just great exposure for him. Blakey Drury the same. Both of them can play forward and back, and they've probably got the qualities to be able to play through the middle too. Where they'll end up settling, both those guys, I'm none too sure, but they're both high quality kids. Just want to play footy at the highest level and be as good as they can be. And when you've got kids with an appetite like that, then they're going to get the very, very best out of themselves. And where they'll end up settling, I'm not too sure, but we're pleased they're in our colours, and we're going to be a better side when they can get to 40, 60, 80 games. And that's what we've got to do with some of these young boys, just get some time in. That's why it's disappointing young. And Comben hurt his leg last week. He was going along really well for us, and he'll miss 10 games. Hopefully he'll be back for the last half a dozen games or so for the year. But we just need to get some time into these kids and show our supporters and for them to believe in themselves that they belong at this level and can be a big part of our future.
Is that going to be one of the challenges of these next couple of months? Obviously, you mentioned Coleman and only managed 4 goals tonight. Is that going to be sort of one of the big challenges for that sort of, I guess, manufacture goals and scores, competitive scores, that sort of thing?
Yeah, well, listen, it was a low-scoring affair. It was only 48 inside 50s each today, so that was pleasing for us too. You know, the Saints can be a side that can get, you know, flowing the ball quickly, especially from their back end. I think they're one of the best sides in the competition from transitioning from back end to front end. So to keep them to 48 inside 50s, we had 48 ourselves. So you think you'd kick more than 4 goals from 48 entries. So that's what I'm talking about, the polish, you know, connection. St Kilda dropped numbers back, so it's hard to actually penetrate. So we're sitting here disappointed that we didn't score more, but some of the credit's got to go to St Kilda. They make it very, very difficult for all sides in the competition to score, let alone a side that's struggling a bit to find its way forward. And we just need to slowly get better. And you know, the fact that we were able to restrict their score too was pleasing. So that made it a pretty dour affair and wasn't a great spectacle. But in terms of the contest, it was certainly much better than what we faced last week against Melbourne.
Ben obviously was subbed out against, it's probably the second time in the month. It's obviously a very delicate situation on the club's all-time greats. Is it possibly an uncomfortable chat might have to be had in the next couple of months? Next couple of weeks, how's his position in the side?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's like any other player. He needs to perform in the role that he's got, and that was like the game we were here against Carlton on Good Friday. He just hadn't, you know, his role in the side is to be a clearance beast and strong around the contest, and he wasn't providing that for us in the game today, unfortunately. So you know, you get to 3/4 time, and you know, sometimes we've made the sub at halfway through the third quarter, and then someone gets injured, and you think. So we waited a little bit longer today and made it at 3/4 time, but it wouldn't have mattered. All coaches make the assessment of who's making a contribution in the roles and who's a little bit down on what they're contributing to the side. And Cunners was the one today that we thought we'll try and get Lazaro onto the ground and get some fresh run and mix it up. And you know, our work in the last quarter was a lot better in that space. Now that's not really a reflection of Cunners, but we just needed to make a change, and he was the one that we thought should come out.
I mean, it's obviously probably hard to answer, but is he spot in the team? Might he have to work a bit harder to keep his spot in the team going forward, or not?
Well, we'll wait and see how that all pans out throughout the week. But everyone wants to play well every week, and he didn't have such a good day today. But as I said, he's got a fair few piggies in the bank, or pennies in the bank. Piggy bank, piggies in the bank, pennies in the piggy bank. Might be what I'm trying to say. But he needs to bring a ripper for our footy club, and yeah, he's a proud man. He'd be disappointed he didn't perform well today, but I'm sure he'll bounce back strongly.
Taryn Thomas returns in the VFL. What did you make of his performance, and what's the latest of his situation?
Yeah, well, he played quite well. The Twos had a good win against the Sandringham side. I think they won by about 10 goals, which was really pleasing. You know, he performed well in his first game back. He played a sort of 15v15 sort of scrimmage type of game last week ironically against the St Kilda side too. So you know, he's just building his match fitness. He's got another week in the VFL program, I'm led to believe, and then hopefully he'll be back in the AFL program. And then once he's back in the AFL program, you know, we'll just see what his fitness level's like, what his match conditioning's like, and then he continues to do what we require him to do, then hopefully he'll be available for selection pretty soon.
So is that close? Is it more of a fitness issue now? Like, you feel like he's made the progress on the other side?
I'm not the bloke to talk to about that. Jen Watt and Todd Viney are the two at our footy club that have been across that more so than me, and I've seen very little of Taryn since he's been out of the AFL program, and that'll hopefully ramp up a little bit next week when he returns to the AFL program. But yeah, once he gets back into it, I'll just more or less focus on his footy and what he needs to do there. And the footy side of it for mine is what's his fitness base like, and how many games does he need to play to get, you know, cherry ripe to be able to play at senior AFL footy. And yeah, we'll make that determination, and the rest of the stuff, you know, Jen and Todd will look after off to the side.
Have you caught up with Chris Began's statement at all?
No.
Anything to,
No, it was just mentioned to me that something had been released today, but I
yeah, so basically Chris is, issued a statement regarding the reporting of the investigation, and he wanted to address things that he felt were inaccuracies in reporting, in particular the Herald Sun. Do you share those feelings about what you're seeing? Are you seeing much of what's being written or said?
I haven't seen what Fergie's had to say, so I'd be out of line commenting on it really. All I know is that there's investigation that's been commissioned by the AFL, and we're yet to speak to the investigation panel. Until such time as we do, we don't know where this is going.
Is mediation something you're open to?
I'm open to speaking to the investigation panel first and foremost, and until such time as we get an opportunity to do that, then I don't really want to give too much consideration to anything else except the opportunity to speak to the panel and put forward our story.
You're obviously very, very experienced coach, but how has this played, having this in the background, has it impacted your ability in any way, or just sort of have you been able to sort of compartmentalise this sort of?
A little bit of both. You just got to get on with what you need to do. We've got a football side that we need to coach and a job that we need to do, and we'll just deal with the investigation when it pops up. But we're now nearing 7.5 or 8 months, and we still haven't had an opportunity to sit in front of them, which is extraordinary, really. 8 months. So we're looking forward to the day that we get that chance.